Now, why is this happening? Well, this ridge of high pressure, it's pumping in the heat and the humidity. It's giving a lot of that moisture and instability for those storms across the upper Midwest. And it's also making that low move a little bit slower across the northern tier of the United States. But here under that ridge, it's where we have the heat and the humidity. So we are going to have potentially rotation within this line of thunderstorms. When you have those winds pushing out, easy to get a spin up tornado. So that's going to be for areas near Carmi, near Norris City, Emma. Take cover now, as we do have a lot of heavy rain with this, so it could be obscured by the heavy rain that's moving through, but strong gusting winds, hail, and even a tornado potential. That's where you're going to notice as you walk out the door, maybe some of those showers pumping in, but a lot of humidity for us as we continue throughout this day. It's going to be hot and muggy, and that's really going to aid in the development of those storms that continue to fire off from Texas all the way into portions of extreme southeastern South Dakota. We have some spots across Wisconsin that have already recorded their wettest day ever on record. And with that, of course, we're concerned about flash flooding. Where you see these red polygons, that's where we have flash flood warnings in place. That means it's occurring or imminent into areas like Sheboygan, Oshkosh, into southern Wisconsin. From Sunday, some good organization with it, but as we continue to have that yellow work in, that dry air, kind of loses its shape, and we're talking about it really not looking likely to be forming into a tropical system within the next few days, but that still has plenty of moisture with it. Expect a lot of rain across coastal regions of Texas into Louisiana. That's that tropical moisture that's just going to be pumped into the region today and for the next few days, and this is really going to add up. Areas like Houston, you could see maybe 3 to 5 inches locally, some places 7 to 8 inches of rain as we head into the first half of your week. So we are going to closely watch this, but no matter if it forms or not, we are going to see a lot of rain across the southeast as we head into this week. We're talking about nonstop rain showers really for Florida, working that further interior portions of the southeast. So Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, you get in on those rain showers as we head into the day tomorrow. Florida, you're still going to see all that heavy rain with tropical downpours possible. And this is going to continue in. So that rain is going to add up as we head into the next few days. We're talking about widespread for the panhandle of Florida into the eastern coast, maybe 3 to 6, even locally up to 10 inches.
And Kate, this is one of those holiday weekends coming up. College football season begins, but not before a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect across Duluth down to Sioux City.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the weather because college football, not my forte by any means. So let's talk about this severe thunderstorm watch that is in place across areas like the Twin Cities, down into northern Iowa. This is going to be in effect until 10 p.m. tonight, as we are talking about the storms that are already firing off, as David just showed you, working into the late hours tonight. Really after midnight, though, that threat for severe weather across Minnesota starts to diminish. But before that, our main concern are going to be those very strong winds. But I mean, we definitely had visual confirmation yesterday because of Iowa, how you don't really have the obscured rain or even the trees in the hills. It's a little flat, so you can see things like this, but you can also see just how much damage that did. Look at the roof there in Marshalltown, another really hard hit city in Iowa. So if you maybe have your cell phone low on battery, charge it now before that power outage goes out, because that is a possibility. You want to make sure you can get alerts. But when you talk about this bow, you also have to look towards the end of it, because that's where you can see those bookend vortices, as we call it, and those spin-up tornadoes are definitely going to be a possibility. And that warm front is going to be the trigger for some of those storms across northern Minnesota into the start of your Monday. And the storms do start to push off into areas like the lower peninsula of Michigan for the early morning hours of your day tomorrow. Will clear things up across North and South Dakota by the time you're waking up on your Monday, but it's still across Green Bay into even Rhineland, the UP of Michigan, the lower peninsula. We're going to have heavy rain still pushing through by the time we start our day tomorrow, and the showers still move off towards the east, and then we see another round of some of those stronger storms as the slow pressure system really isn't moving too much because of a ridge of high pressure that's across the eastern half of the United States. That ridge is also giving some dangerous heat to places like St. Louis, Missouri. We'll have the details on that in just a few minutes. Well, yesterday, historic flash flooding across Houghton, Michigan, as we saw excessive rain just going from the nighttime towards the morning over the same area, and that led to scenes like this. Water rushing down the roads, buckled it, led to a lot of those roads washed out, damage across the entire city. It's just devastating footage, but just shows you just how dangerous flash flooding really can be and how serious it is to take it. Now this morning we're still going to see a rainfall over the same regions because of a stationary front that's off towards the north. You can see that line of showers from the Intermountain West all the way into the northeast, but down into Texas, this is where some tropical moisture is going to be working through for the next few days, just the beginning of it as we look towards the Gulf Coast of Texas into Louisiana. You're starting to see more of those yellows, the oranges, the reds. That's meaning more heavy rainfall pushing into Galveston, Houston, Victoria, Corpus Christi. We're going to have more on that throughout the morning, but first let's head off towards north again. Just a few of those light rain showers for the most part, some heavier ones pushing into portions of Wyoming. Over into Rapid City, you're seeing some moderate rain into your region for your morning commute. And then as you head down to southern Minnesota, some light rain starting to actually wind that down. The heaviest of the rain pushing over into northern Michigan and pushing out of Wisconsin. This is though where we're going to see those lines of showers redevelop as we head into the afternoon and evening hour. So as we look at your severe weather forecast, well, that's where we're going to have to talk about in more detail the next few days, because this boundary, well, it's extending all the way from the New England region back into Wyoming. And you can see exactly where this line of showers and storms are going to form along that boundary, because we do have that marginal risk, even slight risk for severe storms. So that means in areas like Burlington towards Albany, New York, and even back into Omaha, Des Moines, back near Denver, we could be seeing several severe storms firing off as we head through the day. And then the risk continues tomorrow, pretty much across the same area. We kind of shifted down towards the south a bit as we go into your Tuesday. That marginal risk, though, extends from the mid-Atlantic through the Ohio River Valley and even into the Central Plains for maybe isolated severe storms throughout your Tuesday. And since this is a slow-moving system, we are going to have a lot of concerns for flash flooding, because the same region is going to see heavy rain shower after heavy rain shower because of all the moisture that these storms have to work with. As you walk out the door, you probably notice how just muggy it is outside for the really eastern half of the United States. So we have a surge of moisture working through, lots of high dew points in the 60s and 70s. That means the higher moisture content in the atmosphere, and more of that for these storms to work with. So as we work into the next few days, areas like Madison, Wisconsin, into Iowa, near Omaha, down towards Lincoln, and even into Rapid City, we're going to see just excessive rain repetitively over the next few days for the first half this week, because we just aren't moving this front. We have this ridge of high pressure across the east. You can see it right here. Around it, though, we're pumping in moisture and riding those storms along the ridge. And since the ridge is there, it's a blocking mechanism. So those fronts really can't dive any further south, so they're kind of stalling out across the northern tier of the United States. And with that, we're also having to talk about the heat that's building under this ridge of high pressure. So as we talk about the next few days, well, we're going to be seeing more of these heat alerts across much of the country. Today and even into your Tuesday, we have heat advisories widespread. Those are all those oranges you're seeing on places like Missouri, Illinois, into Indiana, even across the Northeast for today. Now, St. Louis, the Quad Cities, now Chicago, you are under that heat advisory today and even into tomorrow. So St. Louis and the suburbs around, like Florissant, down towards Festus, back towards Wentzville and Eureka, and even across the Mississippi, you're going to have those temperatures feel like 100 degrees, 110 degrees. Even though we're making it into the upper 90s today, still well above average for this time of year, we're going to have the humidity adding to what it actually feels like outside. So dangerous heat, not just across the Midwest, that extends into the Northeast for today. This ridge is starting to shift off towards east, and that's going to build up the heat as we head across really the I-95 corridor. Could be seeing multiple record highs as we go into your Monday, and as we go into tomorrow, still the heat will be with us. But make sure you stay with us, because we have to talk about areas like St. Louis as well as much of the country when it comes to your top weather stories in just a few minutes on Weather Nation.